Thank you, Steve. That was thoughtful of you. Um, my world, I've done business for about 40 years in every state in the U.S., taught seminars, worked with a lot of business people. I have never seen anything like this before, Toby. It is just really an honor to be able to be involved with this. And our biggest job is just making it so people can grasp it because I've never seen anything like it before. And I know that when we're dealing with you as a chamber, and I've been looking at your website, you have a really good website. We work with a lot of chambers. You guys should be honored. Yours is much better than many,
Thank
but
you.
you have a large staff. You must be very active and very involved.
I would say yes. I mean, that's really what our chamber is we really want to be active, really get our members engaged in what we're doing here in the Billings community.
Yeah, I'm very impressed. So that's really cool. But I wanted to start off first. I know that when we're dealing with a chamber, your members and your communities look to you to guide them the best ways possible with new opportunities, good things, that kind of thing. We want to make sure you understand that we're a very stable, professional, respected company to be able to work with you on this community project. And so to give an example of what I mean, our company, you probably remember from the video, has been in business now for over 20 years. We're now operating in 56 different countries. We already have over 500,000 member merchants, and we have over 17 million shoppers in our program already. We are one of the largest, if not the world's largest, benefits program provider today. And it didn't hurt when Newsweek and Statista last year found us as the #1 customer loyalty program in the United States. So anything you need as far as that goes, Toby, we'd be happy to provide. But it's been nice to not have to worry about, will you be there tomorrow or your startup? What's your track record? This is about as good as it gets. So let's hope that's helpful to you. But really the secret to the program, and as we go through this, every chamber we've ever worked with always has questions. Hopefully this will help with those, is that, your shoppers can download an app for free, join the program for free, and get cash back and shopping points for free. So there's absolutely no risk to a shopper. There's 3 ways that shoppers are able to purchase. One is probably the most common we would use in the Billings area with your small to medium-sized businesses. And that would be what we call scan and go. You might have seen how that works. A person just goes into any My World merchant, shops the way they always shop, pays for it the way they always pay for it. And then when they're done, they simply take the receipt and scan it on their phone on the app and send it in. And then a short time later, they get back a little notification that the cash will be in their account soon. When the cash comes in, they can now use that to purchase goods from any My World merchant in the world. Or if they want, they can just move it to their bank and it literally is cash. So our shoppers, you can see, love that because of the versatility there and one app for pretty much everything they do. Another thing that's nice is to your merchants, there's no employee training, there's no employee interaction, there's no extra time taken, there's no cost there to them because it's all seamless. The employees don't even have to know, they're not necessary to do the program. We have when you see the 20,000 online, that would be an example of the companies that are purely online, like your, Priceline and the big companies like that are already on there. And then in the US now, we have pretty much all the major chain stores, the Walmart, Home Depot, Amazon, Whole Foods, that kind of thing. And we utilize this through gift cards. So the point being, and this is where it gets to be the issue of why we're doing this and with you, your chamber, Toby, is we already have the big chain stores. We already have the big online stores. We came to the US, here we are all US people, but it's huge. The other day I looked this up. The country of England will fit inside 12 different states in the US, certainly Montana. That gives you an idea how big the US. If we took all of our people here in the United States and went to England and opened up England, we could do it in a short period of time. The problem is in the US, we got people every day signing up in Montana, in Texas, in California, in Oregon, in Florida, New York. And the secret here is that we want our shoppers, after 20 years of experience, we know what works. When our shoppers can have one app they do everything with. They not only buy online in the major chain stores, but they know when they get in their car, drive down the street, they're pretty much going to be able to get whatever they want locally. And it becomes one app of choice for everything. And so here in the United States, to do that, we need to build by community, if you will. Same thing for our merchants. They sign up they want to be able to have it so that, people come in and start shopping and they get new customers and make money and grow their business. And so both of those have to happen at the same time, or best happen at the same time, to make it work the best. So the concept here with our chamber program is something that's new to the US. We're not going to offer it forever, but those that we do this with, it is a lifetime benefit for everyone. And what that does is, is allows us to bring in your merchants all at once, and then advertise and let the shoppers know to come in and download the app from the merchants, and then the business just grows from there and takes care of itself. So this program that we presented to you that you watched, that this is a 6-minute video, there's a revenue stream, which I'll show you in a minute. We don't make that available to the chain stores. This is only available to the small to medium-sized merchants. It's a huge benefit for them that nobody else offers. So I just want to give you a quick overview why this is and why we're doing it, is because we have found one of the benefits we shared with you was that if they join the program through you, the chamber, we waive that $749 fee. Otherwise, it costs them $749 to join. Well, the reason we're willing to take that loss, if you will, or loss leader, is because we know when a community set up what it does, and it takes care of itself forever. So it's a win for everybody involved. So I just wanted to give you a big picture as we go through this, because I find a lot of times the board members or they'll ask questions in the chambers, don't know because they just only heard it for 6 minutes. So any questions as we go so far?
No.
Okay. The shoppers, of course, they enjoy it. As I've said, there's 3 parties involved. The shoppers enjoy it because they can join that for free, cash back, and shopping points. Merchants love it because they are immediately advertised over 17 million shoppers for free. I don't know of any other program today where an advertiser can advertise for free and only pay if it works. If it doesn't, never costs them a dime. So our merchants love that. And when it does work, as you know, they only pay a small 6.5% to 10.5% commission when the sale takes place. So they didn't have to put any money up front. They didn't have to advertise, and then they only pay when it works. And merchants absolutely love that. And then, of course, the big one there is, well, and one other thing, being mentioned by Newsweek as the #1 customer loyalty program. They've done statistical finds that customers or businesses that have good customer loyalty programs, their customers become more loyal and spend more money than the same merchants who don't have those. But we add the revenue stream that no one else we know of offers today. And we'll get into that in detail in just a minute. So when a sale takes place or when a shopper buys, the merchant then pays only upon that sale. My World takes out a small amount for overhead, and the money goes right back to the shopper, creating a cycle. And so everybody wins. It's kind of like the shopper wins because they get cash back and shopping points. They're saving money that they wouldn't get otherwise, and it's free. And then when they win, everybody else wins. So it's kind of like people are going to shop with or without us. We found that when they have an app they love, they just use it. So it's kind of a neat cycle when you understand the whole program. So we know why shoppers are involved. Now let's get to the merchants. I just mentioned this because when we do a joint community project with you as a chamber, we hope your members will really appreciate that because of you, they don't have to pay anything. They have no financial risk getting involved with this program. Plus, it provides a new revenue stream. Now, I know you saw this. I'll explain it real quickly. Let's just say I have a personal friend who owns some pizza shops up in Billings, but let's just say that you have a business in your chamber called Joe's Pizza. Remember, we provide for your merchants when they come on some marketing materials so that the public will want to download the app from their place of business. And you can imagine at a pizza shop or store, that could be maybe something on the wall where they stand in line waiting to order or waiting for take home. And then certainly a nice little on the dining table. As they read that, they can just take their phone, snapshot the QR code, download the app, and know from now on every time they come back, they're going to get cash back. But also know that when they go across the street now to get gas or clothes or food, or hair salon, whatever, they're going to get cash back anywhere in the Billings through all of my world merchants, Montana, United States, 55 other countries in the world. And so it's huge that they can download that for free. Well, when they download that app and go out now and start to do their normal shopping, they already do anyway, but taking advantage of the app, give you an example, we're finding that people typically spend these kinds of amounts per month on their normal day-to-day shopping, maybe allocated differently, but around this kind of amount per month. But what happens, I'm sure you caught this, is that when that shopper, downloads the app through that merchant, from now on, every dollar they spend for the rest of their life, that merchant makes up to 1% commission on every dollar they spend anywhere in the world, not just in their place of business. So 1% on that is only $15. Not sound like a lot of money, but think with me, that's just one merchant. How many people come through a pizza store per hour, day, week, month, that kind of thing. And that typically grows to 150, 15,000. It could become a huge additional income stream to your merchants. And here's the good part, it doesn't cost them anything. There's no training, teaching, software they have to worry about. They have an app where they can track it all, and they just receive that money monthly. So what, ordinarily your people, the only hitch is they have to pay that $750. With our, upfront chamber program, we're making it free to chamber members. So that's a big one. That works for everybody. And then two other things before I move on that I love about that is that when your members join, there's no integration or installation required, and they can be registered in less than 10 minutes. So really, it's not even that much of their time to be involved. Any questions on that before we cover the last part?
Nope.
Okay. Hopefully this is an okay review, Toby. I can tell you actually paid attention when you watched the video.
You're kind of reviewing most of the stuff that I saw because I found it very interesting about the loyalty program. And I thought that was great, especially on the merchant side of it.
Yeah, it's a lot of merchants can't, or I shouldn't say merchants, a lot of the chamber members can't grasp. They keep coming back and saying, now, how much does it cost us as a chamber? And we point out there's no cost to you and you're going to make revenue. And they say, well, what's next year's cost for your merchants? Our merchants, the answer is none. It's a one-time fee of $749 and it's waived due to this community project. And they have a hard time grasping it. And that's why, thank you for letting me go over the circle again, the cycle. It's because everybody wins because of the shopper. The money's not made unless a transaction takes place. So this whole program is based upon a successful concept, helping people to get a better value for their dollar. So it's pretty cool. Mm-hmm. Now, as far as you, the Chamber of Commerce goes, I know you know this, but how many members do you have?
Over 1,100.
Gosh, good for you. Well, to give you an example here, these little symbols here would represent your member merchants. And then this would represent the people that come in and download the app through that merchant. As you know, we're going to provide for you, the chamber, a 0.5% of the dollar volume generated by the shoppers coming in and spending money with your merchants that are members of the My World program. To give you an example, if you had half of your members, which we know, by the way, Toby, not all your members will do this program. Some it isn't really applicable to, and insurance agents don't usually benefit that much from a customer loyalty program. But anybody facing the public, it's usually a slam dunk, and others you hadn't even think of sometimes realize it's wonderful. In fact, another benefit you'll notice is a lot of your smaller merchants that can't really afford their own customer loyalty program can now afford it and have the benefit, but they get the revenue stream. I mean, Billings, you have people that come in from Europe, et cetera. They download, go home and shop. Your merchants still make money. So it's pretty cool. But what happens here is if we had, let's say, 500 of your chamber members join the program, and the precedent is they did $100,000 of volume through the My World program. We know most of them would do a lot more than that in a year, but let's say they did it through My World program. That 0.5% that we set aside and pay to you as the chamber would generate about $250,000 a year to you. If 250 members, it'd be about 125,000. So we just want to give you an idea. We'll wait and see what each chamber does or each area does, but based upon 20 years of experience, it should be helpful to you as a chamber, and we do pay that out to you monthly so that you can use it for your budgeting. And many of the chambers, first of the year, that got really excited about this because it seems like that's budget time. So any questions on any of that so far?
Nope.
All right. Then let's just wrap it up here with the game plan. Did you send him the actual landing page, Steve, or just the video? When you received that, Toby, did you?
I had the landing page too.
Okay, thank you so much. Then you have that. And did you get a chance to see the contract or any of the questions in there?
I have not looked over that yet, no.
Not that you should. I just don't want to waste your time twice at this point. That has information in it, answers to questions, et cetera. It does have a sample of the contract to give you an idea of each partner, what we're doing in this, each person involved, if you will. And we can modify if necessary because each chamber can be a little bit different. We understand that. It's a work in progress, but we talked about registering about half of the chamber members. We know that you're very busy, Toby, especially looking at how active your chamber is, and you probably don't have a lot of people sitting around with nothing to do. We
That's
can
true.
make it work to help you. You want your more members. We want you to have more members. We'll talk about that in a second. We'd like to be a member. We hope that that's something you may grant us without us having to pay, since we're bringing all your merchants in without having to pay, and we're paying you money, but we want to be a member of your chamber regardless, with your to do this program together, a part of your community. But we will provide the marketing materials, as I mentioned, for your chambers. We will make it so that the amount of work you have to do is very simple, very easy. Just in meetings, just let people know about it. We can actually, do the work to help them become merchants and get them signed up. It's just giving them an opportunity to see the program is the main thing, and know that this is something that may be beneficial to them. Once we get a certain percentage of your merchants enrolled, too much we know for each community to make it take off, at that point, we'll start advertising through your social media. We might look to you for advice as to what people listen to up there in Billings or watch or social media. Every chamber, every community can be a little bit different. Some places, one station has it all, so if you don't mind, we just ask you for your opinion. But we'll run ads, media, so that people know to go into your member merchants to sign up. And then make that a big splash so that everybody knows about it at the same time. Start our shopper registration on the same day. Then benefits for you, the chamber, obviously I am assuming, sorry, are you nonprofit?
Yes.
Your non-dues residual income should be a huge benefit for you. Pardon?
We're a C6, not a C3.
You know what? I'm not that detailed. What's the difference?
So we're a membership-driven business or a nonprofit. So basically,
Okay.
so we can't take grants or anything like that.
But you're okay with non-dues revenue?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. We're dealing with a business administration. It's a 501(c)(3) something. They're all a little bit different. Brand exposure through marketing, but where this happens, that could be a benefit to you personally, Toby, because I see you're in charge of the member recruitment. You're the manager of that. Obviously, we appreciate your time and your support in this. Should this look good to you? And so one of the things that we found to be helpful is once we finish with your members, and please let me stop for a minute. Remember the advantage we are giving, or you are giving, to your members. The first merchants who sign up and are in line by the time we start our media campaign have the chance to benefit the most. Because just because they're a pizza store, when a shopper comes in to buy a pizza, that person's going to be buying clothes. That person's going to be buying all kinds of things. Well, if they go into a year later, another member merchant to buy, or 2 weeks later to buy, they've already signed up. So yeah, that member's going to get the business, but they're not going to make the revenue because the shopper signed up with someone else. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
First merchants that come on have the advantage in the community because it's easier for them to sign up more shoppers, which they can take advantage of. Now that'll be ongoing. It's not like others are going to be hurt or left out, but they just have an advantage.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really, really nice. But once we get your chamber members presented to and enrolled, we'll start reaching out to your non-member merchants. And when they realize that it is $7.49, or if they were a member of your chamber, it's free, we're looking, and for our initial results are seeing that this could be advantageous to you, because any of them that are on the border of thinking of joining the chamber, that's going to kick them over, because they're going to want this program, be a part of it. They've already heard, seen about it, et cetera, and knowing they can get it for free by joining you, they get the best of both worlds. So we're hoping that that'll help to bring your job more fun or make it easier for you. It's something we hope you can use as you recruit, to point out, we brought this program to Billings. We're very innovative, et cetera, et cetera. So hope that'll help you in quite a few ways. And then same thing, you use that money for whatever you want. If you use it for community support or projects, or, grow your chamber, whatever it is you do, we hope that'll come back to benefit you and your merchants and your community overall. So I just have one last thing and I'm done, but any questions before I get into that?
One question is how many chambers in Montana have actually signed up for this program so far?
Um, I'm not familiar with any at this point. Steve, are you familiar with any in Montana?
Well, first of
We're-
all, I want to apologize for not answering the last time. I'd muted my phone and I was trying to unmute it and didn't. So the answer is no. As far as I'm aware, this is the first chamber in Montana. Scott is going to be the one that will be boots on the ground in Billings. We'll have a team of people out, working. We currently have that going on. So yeah, this will be the first chamber, I think, in Montana.
And that's really good, Toby, because we started this, launched at the first of this year, as far as making it actually, we're just starting to implement our chambers now.
Okay.
We're heavy in places like Texas and California, even in southern Utah, a number of different places throughout the country. But you were the first one in Montana. And one of the things that we found is beneficial to that. Do you have any other chambers that overlap you, or are you pretty much the thing there in Billings?
Pretty much us in Billings.
Okay. Because we have places where we have overlapping chambers, and it's a big deal who comes on first, because once a chamber comes on, we set them up before we set up another one. Even if they sign up the next day, we install. So anyway, so yeah, you would have the first rights to that there in Billings, or first application. Anything
And
else?
then second, I know that Steve mentioned that Mayor Cole was interested in this project, and I just want to kind of know his feedback on it.
Yeah, the answer is we always go in and talk with the city management before we generally start reaching out to chambers. And the response, I've never had a city say, "Oh yeah, this doesn't make sense and we don't want to be, participate." But cities aren't set up structured like a chamber where they have a way of accepting any form of compensation for their involvement. So it's more or less just we go to the city and say, hey, this is what we're going to launch in the area. Then we start with chambers, usually go to BNI groups and other groups to say, this is something we're bringing into the area. So we've had total support from everyone we've talked to there so far. So
Typically what happens, Toby, is like one in my area, the city or economy director just basically reaches out to the chamber and says, hey, we really think you should look at this. And that's how they support, because they can see it being good for the community. So, anything else before I cover my last little part?
No, not for me.
Thank you so much for your paying attention to your questions. Obviously, you're grasping this. You must have a business background too. But oh, excuse me, my screen just disappeared.
we can still see it. Now we can't.
Yeah, but there wasn't the right thing to show you. I didn't want to show you a picture of my wife and kids, grandkids.
Well, we'd like to see that.
Well, they are wonderful. Yeah, I above my head. Scott, no comments from the bleachers there.
Okay, well, I still got a full set of hair here.
Yeah, sorry, Toby. There's no teasing going on here. You saw this. This is the landing page that we sent to you, and there's quite a bit more in there that will make it's available to you to look at if you'd like. And then I just wanted to cover one last thing. And by the way, this got frequently asked questions. That's where you would go in and see that contract or whatever. Anything you wish to look at, you click on it. I just want, in recapping, point one thing out. We're so close to it and we're so excited about it, and we've seen the results of it, that it's hard for us to imagine anybody not just saying, let's do it. And yet we also understand the biggest thing is that most people, especially Toby, those who don't take the time like you have to learn it, they try to pigeonhole it into other things that they think is what it is. We're not like any other program in the world. I think that's the reason we got ranked number one. There's a lot of good customer loyalty programs out there. We're not saying there's not good programs. We're saying there's none quite like this. And none of the others have the revenue, which is why this is so valuable again to you as a chamber. It benefits your merchants so much. So I wanted to, in closing, hit you with the risks, if I may, because I try to put myself in your shoes. You're basically saying, if we're going to recommend this to our members, we got to make sure it's good. We can't be involved with anything that they can come back and say, "Whoa, thanks for that one." So if I could, let me just do my thing. For shoppers, there's pretty much no risk. It's already up and running. They're already shopping. We got 17 million. They can use that in Billings if we don't do this. You know, they can do it with the chain stores, et cetera. But then your merchants miss out, your local small to medium-sized businesses until we get it set up. So for shoppers, there's pretty much no risk. For your merchants, if you don't, that just takes away that chance to free to join. And, you know, we'll just come in and do it as a regular community later on. They'll miss out on customers, and they'll certainly miss out on the revenue stream, which could be, they'll never know, but they will miss out on that until they actually hear about it. And then, of course, for you, you miss out on the revenue stream and potential new members. But the reason I wanted to point out is this. For you as a chamber, something I realized is this company has been around 20 years. It's a multi-billion-dollar company now. As it continues to grow in the United States, pretty much everybody eventually is going to know about this program, just like they do in many other countries in Europe, et cetera, already. And the concern that I just throw out to you, for maybe even other managers in your district who are, you're concerned about bringing members in. If you were not to do this, you run the risk of your merchants saying, when they find out about it, how come you guys didn't let us decide if we want to do this or not? We could have done it for free. We could have been the first ones on the ground. We should have got the people signed up. We could have been making more revenue. But because we didn't, now we're coming in late and we have to pay $750. And I don't say that in negative. I say that that's a real thing to remember, because the program is going to work, as I mentioned, with or without us, et cetera, continue on. And so the beauty of this is, as you turn that around, we were instrumental in bringing this the right way into Billings. We were instrumental in bringing the #1 ranked company in. We were instrumental in bringing in a program that made it free for you because of our chamber involvement. And this is the only company we know of in the world that provides an additional revenue stream. And so turn that around, and then, of course, that makes the chamber very, very exciting. So I hope that's helpful to you to realize that the thing is just, it's huge. And the last thought is, who's already involved? The major companies in the United States. It's not like we're a startup. They've already decided, their members, they're involved with our program. It's the real deal. Any last questions on any of that?
No, I thank you, gentlemen, for your time. This was very good. I definitely will pass this on to my uppers, my leadership team, and kind of present it to kind of how you guys have done it and kind of see what they think. Obviously, I'm not the decision maker and all final on this, so I think it's very interesting. I think it deserves definitely a conversation for us to have.
Couple things.
Well,
Oh,
I was going to say, let me just add one thing here, Toby. If it makes sense for us to jump on with, your CEO or your board, we're happy to do that. I can even get the CEO of my world on with your CEO, if that makes sense. This is something that we really plan to launch because Scott is in the area and he has a team there. Do you have like ambassadors or people that work with your chamber and your community?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Okay, because a lot of times what we do is Scott and his team will work directly with your ambassadors and strategically decide, okay, which businesses are not part of the chamber that our team can be working with and helping your ambassadors to bring in, new members into your chamber. Because our whole goal with this program is to really support the small to medium-sized businesses so they can better compete with the national brands. And everywhere we go across the country, we hear exactly the same thing. It's getting harder and harder for small businesses to compete because of the advertising budgets of the large conglomerations and what they can spend, in advertising. So anyways, let us know if that would be helpful.
Definitely. And I have all your emails. Kim, I have your phone number. So I unfortunately have to go, gentlemen, but thank you guys for your time, and I really appreciate it.
Hey,
Yeah.
thank you, Toby.
you
Thank
bet.
you, Toby.
All right. See you guys.
Bye now.